Please stop following me.
A little while ago, I asked you guys whose discography you wanted me to rank next, and the majority of you said Billie Eilish. So here we are. This is the video. I guess this is kind of like my Halloween special for you guys. I mean, I don't know if this is actually going to come out on or before Halloween, but if you were there for the When We All Fall Asleep era, y'all know Billie is scary. She can be a little bit scary when she wants to. Anyways, Billie Eilish is kind of on top of the world right now. With only 3 full-length albums out, she is one of the most listened to artists on Spotify. She's won tons of awards. Like, she's really doing the thing. I mean, going back through all her music to do this ranking made me remember just how accomplished she is. Like, at 19, she was sweeping the freaking Grammys. Like, what the hell am I doing? Anyways, we're just gonna jump right into this ranking. It's been a while since I've done a full discography ranking, but I forgot how fun these are. I mean, I just love going through all the music, and it's gonna be the same as always. We're gonna go one by one and rank every single song from worst to best, and I will be simultaneously sorting them into tiers as we go, which you'll see, and each tier will be named after a lyric by Billie. A couple other disclaimers before we get started as always. First, remember these are all just my opinions whenever I do these rankings. It is a subjective list. I'm never trying to put down anyone for the songs that you happen to like or dislike. I'm never trying to state my opinion as fact, even though it might sound like that just because I'm extra. But I am literally just yapping for an extended period of time about an artist I really like. This is not like an objective analysis. Second thing to clarify is the songs that I'm ranking. I pretty much just use Spotify and go down the entire discography just to see what all the songs are that Billie has officially released on streaming and, to the public. I don't rank additional features or remixes of songs. I just kind of consider them as one. So for example, Bad Guy with Justin Bieber or the L'Amour extension, those aren't going to be ranked on their own. I'm not ranking Hotline Edit. I just did not want to. I also don't rank features. I usually don't really consider a song by an artist if they're featured on it, if they're not, like the main artist on the song. But with Billie, she actually only has ever been featured on 2 songs. Never Felt So Alone by Labyrinth, which I think she is just doing background vocals anyways. And then Guess, recently by Charlie XCX, which I love. You guys already know that. Unless you don't, because apparently a lot of people think I hated the Brat remix album based on y'all's reactions to my last video. But we're not talking about that. So it's going to be every song you can find on her 3 main studio albums, along with Don't Smile at Me. And then there's actually quite a few songs that she's done outside of her albums just for like movies or TV shows or separately. So I'm just going to list them all on the screen so it's clear from the start, what songs I am and am not ranking. That's all there is to disclaim. So without further ado, let's just get right into the ranking. Starting off at the bottom of the list, we have the few Billie Eilish songs that I consider to be skips. I know this is always the most difficult part of the video. This is where everyone clicks off and gets mad at me. I'm used to it at this point, but we have to start at the bottom. That is just how rankings work. And here's the thing, usually with these full discography rankings, there's at least a few songs at the very bottom that I have like a genuine disliking towards. But honestly, Billie's music is fairly consistent, where these songs in this tier are frankly just songs that don't stick out to me in any way. Like, they're not doing anything particularly bad, but they're also not doing anything particularly good or striking for me to ever want to listen to them, which is why they ended up at the bottom. I mean, that's usually how skip tier works, but I'm bringing it up here because, I might not have very sound justifications for why these are at the bottom, even though I usually try to. And if your favorite song ends up here, I'm sorry. It very well could happen, but I don't know what to tell you. These songs just did not really do the thing for me. This tier number 5, is going to be called You Were So Mediocre.
This is the album.
I really hope no one is truly offended by me saying that 7 exclamation points is Billie Eilish's worst song. I mean, it barely even classifies as a song. So naturally, it just ended up at the bottom. Like, it's a cute little opening moment, but this is a ranking. Something had to go at the bottom, and this just made sense. I will say from firsthand experience, those Invisalign do kind of suck sometimes. Like a I'm sorry, this one is just really boring, y'all. I might say that about a lot of songs in this tier, not to repeat myself too much, but again, these songs aren't doing anything egregiously bad. I just don't feel like I've gained anything from these listening experiences. With Billie in particular, I think she has pretty simple melodic structures, but what's always shined about her is her vocal delivery, her lyricism, and really interesting production she uses to amp up those melodies. This song doesn't really have any of that to me, which is kind of mean, but I don't know, that is how I feel. So in a way, I consider this my actual least favorite Billie Eilish song, because again, 7 exclamation points is just a moment.
Or is your opinion of me? 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 Or is your opinion of me?
my responsibility.
Similar to 7 exclamation points, this one is just a matter of it being a spoken word thing and not an actual song that makes me prefer others more. The reason I ranked it higher than Hostage though is because I do find it to have a really cool ethereal production to it, and I can respect it in that regard. But also that same exact production is just used in Overheated, which is an actual song that I also really love. So this one just kind of gets overshadowed. That doesn't change the power or beauty of what Billie is saying here. This is a beautiful message. It's very important. It's very crucial to the message of the entire album. I'm very aware of those things. And it's like Burnt Norton being last in my Lana Del Rey ranking, which someone actually was mad about. So I don't know, maybe I should be a little worried about this one.
I'm not your party favor.
I'm not really a fan of the fact that half of this song is muffled. Like, yeah, I know that's the point, it's mimicking a phone call or whatever, but like, it's already not a very interesting song, so the fact that it takes like a minute or two to actually kick in doesn't really help its case either. Y'all know my feelings on these happy-go-lucky songs that sound like Target jingles. Okay, they don't really do the thing for me, especially in a discography full of much more emotional, hard-hitting songs.
Take me to the rooftop, I wanna see.
Now I feel kind of dumb for saying that because this is a very emotional, hard-hitting song. The message and portrayal is beautiful, it's certainly very important, and there's no denying that. This song to me has just always been really slow, and the production is kind of monotonous, to the point where I personally don't see myself listening to it or ever coming back to it much. I love what she does with the titles at the end of this album and how the last 3 titles kind of form a message in and of themselves. I think that's really beautiful. And again, no denying the heartfeltness of this message. It's just not really for me.
Bitches and all your bitches broken heart. You can pretend you don't miss me.
This song in particular just repeats the same melody throughout the entire song, so it feels a bit monotone to me. After 30 seconds, I feel like I've kind of heard all that I need to, and then, I just move on. Yeah, that's about it.
Try not to abuse your power.
I feel like this might be the most controversial pick within this tier. Actually, I don't know. I am just saying that because this is a more popular song, but all of her songs are popular to an extent. Here's the thing. I was really invested in Billie when her debut album came out. I was very invested in her most recent album as well when that came out. But I was actually not really paying much attention to her at all during the Happier Than Ever era. In fact, I only really listened to the album in full, like, this year. So I don't really know much about the roll-off and the promo and all that and what all she was trying to push with this era. I mean, I can piece it together largely from the songs themselves, but I feel like the singles really branched out to a lot of different topics, which is totally fine. That has nothing to do with the ranking, I just wanted to talk about it. I guess the point I'm trying to get at is that this song has always kind of felt like a sore thumb within Happier Than Ever. It is one of the main singles from the era, like there's no denying that, but it just doesn't really work for me for some reason, I don't know. Also, there's the whole thing with her and like...
Can we just round of applause for me?
We won't get into that. But yeah, this song is just kind of meh to me. It also is not doing any favors when this song is followed up by NDA. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna skip to that.
I'm so bored.
Can you guess what I'm gonna say about this one? Honestly, I didn't know a lot of these like older songs even existed until I decided to do this ranking and looked at her whole Spotify and was like, damn, she has a lot of songs, not just in her main studio albums and from older that I didn't know about. I like most of them. I mean, we're dealing with Billie Eilish. She makes consistently good music, but a lot of these earlier songs do feel like she was still kind of finding her footing as an artist. Honestly, I liken early Billie Eilish a lot to early Sabrina Carpenter. They have a similar vocal delivery, that like really young pop sound, leading to good, but sometimes generic music until they really found their unique niche and style. And I think Billie very quickly found that niche with her album When We All Fall Asleep, right? Being her debut album. But that's why some of these earlier songs don't really cut it for me, and this is definitely a case of that. I don't know, I was kind of bored. Okay, we're done. We're moving on. That concludes the skip tier. I know a lot of y'all are probably typing in your angry comments right now and heading on out, but those were just the songs that didn't really cut it for me. Now we're gonna move up to tier number 4, which are songs that I like. What differentiates these songs from the skips is that there are times where I do want to listen to these upcoming songs. Not all the time, you know, sometimes I might skip them if I'm really trying to get to the good stuff, but these songs have elements to them that make me enjoy them, and I could see myself, you know, keeping them on in the background maybe. Because of that, I don't have really much to say about these songs. They're good, they're chill, I enjoy them, that's about it. So to keep things moving, as I've done before, you'll just see a sentence of my thoughts on each song on the screen as it comes up in the ranking, and we're just gonna rattle them off one by one, and then I'll meet you back when we're on the next tier. And because of my enjoyment of these songs, this tier, tier number 4, is called My Mommy Likes to Sing Along.
Everybody dies. Surprise, surprise. Come out and pray. Yes, I can fall in love. I just wanna watch TV.
I try not to kill myself.
6 feet under, I can't help but wonder. Haley's coming. You ain't nothing but a lost cause, and this ain't nothing like it once was. You didn't mean to say I love you. My boy, my boy, my boy. Damn, you think that you're the man. I think therefore I am. I just kinda wish you were dead.
That completes tier number 4. We're moving up to tier number 3 now. This is kind of the midpoint of the list. This is the biggest tier, and these are songs that I really like. These are beginning to get into standouts in her discography. I actively want to listen to these songs. I enjoy them a lot. They're really good. Sometimes that is just like, it's a fun, addictive song. For some reason, it scratches my brain right, so I might not have much to say about it. Sometimes there is like a deeper reason for it that I'll talk about. So there'll be a mix of me either talking about the song and giving you my thoughts out loud, or just putting a sentence on the screen. You'll see as we go. But because of the addictive nature of these songs, this tier is called My Strange Addiction.
Don't give me this any now or ever.
This song kind of made it up here purely for nostalgic reasons. When I was really obsessed with the When We All Fall Asleep album back in 2019, I was particularly obsessed with this song. Now, coming back to it, honestly, I still do love the melody and lyrics, but the production is actually kind of bothersome to me. Like, Billie is in general a softer singer, I acknowledge that, but I have to turn my headphones all the way up just to hear anything going on in this song. Like, girl. Also, I'm not too big of a fan of the vocal distortion in the chorus. I think it would have sounded prettier if it was just kind of her straight up vocal on it. I don't know, that sounds really pretentious and weird. With all that said, again, nostalgia kind of took over, and I still do really enjoy this song to the point of having it in this tier. And I also just find the story to be really compelling. It's a very well-written song.
Copycat, tryna cut my leather, watch your back when I was old. But I'll never let you back to put it out.
So this is just a copy of Watch, but with different production, right? There's like more, it's more bassy, it's more trap influenced, there's the rap verse instead of the bridge. Now, Watch is one of my favorite songs by Billie, and y'all already know my feelings on third verse raps that replace good bridges, you know? They're choices, certainly. This one isn't that bad, the rap verse is pretty fun, but I just find the original to be a lot more compelling, and it kind of overshadows this one. It has that synthy, dreamlike production that y'all know I love. But this song is still fun. It doesn't entirely lose the charm, you know, that makes the original one of my favorites, so I still do really enjoy it.
You better lock your phone and look at me when you're alone.
I really love what this song does for the story of Hit Me Hard and Soft, especially the connection to L'amour de ma vie, where here she says, She was crying on my shoulder, all I could do is hold her. And then later she says, wanna know what I told her with her head on my shoulder? You were so mediocre and we're so glad it's over now. Like, that progression of the story is so good. It's honestly one of the reasons why I really love this album in particular and how it's structured. I have complained about it being too short. You can go watch my other video for more on that. But anyways, yeah, this song is really pretty. And again, considering this is my second least favorite on the album and we're this high up in the ranking, I think it just goes to show how strong this album is.
I know it's hard to die. No, I'll be there. Can you let it go? Can you let it go?
I am always so stunned by Rosalia's ability to blend with other artists. Like, just thinking about her on New Woman with Lisa, and then her on this song with Billie, it's two entirely different textures, but she blends into them so seamlessly. It's beautiful. And the back and forth in the verses between her and Billie is just immaculate. Honestly, if the chorus was a little better, I think this would instantly be a 10 out of 10, but as is, it's still really good. It's really those verses that are just so addicting and good.
I don't wanna be you. You were scared, and so was I. Just add some friction. You are my strange addiction. You know I need you for the oxytocin. Wait a minute, let me finish. I'm the bad guy.
Duh.
I could eat that girl for lunch as she dances on my tongue. Tastes like she might be the one. Isn't it lovely? All alone. Go back to the time. Or write another letter. I'm a bottom man. I'll say you're right, and you kiss me goodnight. Cold winged angel, go home, don't do.
Y'all already know I love me a good a cappella moment, and the intro to this song is so gorgeous in that regard. And then the way those vocals are sampled and become kind of the backing to everything else, which is more sinister and drum heavy, ooh, genius work. The production on Happier Than Ever especially really is something else. Like, it just hits you right in the feels. Also, I only learned while going through these songs again that she apparently wrote this about Olivia Rodrigo, which is so interesting. I mean, I always love a connection within the pop girl cinematic universe, and this is kind of a cool one, even though it's, for a somewhat sad reason. Now we are getting into my favorite Billie Eilish songs. These are really, really good. Like, these are my go-tos when I want to listen to Billie. It's all the same stuff as with my other tier lists. This is just the shit. This is top tier music right here. These are all 9 out of 10s to me. I love these songs. Hence, this tier number 2 is called I Could Never Hate You.
All the good girls go to hell, 'cause even God herself.
It's really the production that sells this song for me. It's so groovy and fun. The layered vocals toward the end with that like piercing synthy sound in the background. Oh, it's just so good. I also do really love the visual storytelling in the music video for this song.
I'm overheated, can't be defeated, can't be deleted.
As I mentioned with Not My Responsibility, I really love the space-like surround sound production going on in this song. It makes it like really ominous, which is so fitting to these lyrics that are themselves very ominous about, Billie's fame and how she's been treated in the industry and all that. Also, the chuckle on It's Kinda Working. Ugh, Billie, you can't do this to me. Oh my goodness. The bridge? Hello? Are y'all hearing this? Oh my goodness. The way the song just builds and builds into this big release, it's so cathartic, it's so powerful. The storytelling again in this album is just so brilliant. I love the way she flips the story kind of back and forth throughout this album. And again, this being kind of the climax of everything really fits the way it connects back to the beginning and the end of the album. It makes sense. This is the climax. It's this big angry moment of like, I tried my hardest in this relationship and you didn't, and like, fuck you, I don't know. I love this song.
When we all fall asleep, where do we go?
Come in.
This music video scared the shit out of me when I was younger. And like, it's really not that long ago when this era was around, but I don't know. I literally I literally could not sleep because of this music video. It was bad, guys. Which I guess is kind of the whole point of the song, so good job, I guess. Anyways, this song is hauntingly beautiful. One of the few songs out there that genuinely makes me scared while listening because of the eerie, jarring production. It's literally produced like a horror movie with like jump scares embedded into the song, which is insane. I don't know how they did that, but that alone just kind of makes it a standout in her discography because it's so unique and fun to listen to. This song has a perfect mesh of the really sad, vulnerable side of Billie in the first half and then the more groovy, energetic side in the second half as the beat kicks in. It just makes this a really fun, interesting song to listen to. I'm also obsessed with these lyrics of like simultaneously wanting a relationship and wanting to be with people, but also being so obsessed with your own future that you'd rather just be alone. I mean, I'm pretty much at the age around when Billie wrote this, and I can definitely relate heavily to this message. Actually, wait, when did she write this? 18? What? I mean, I'm not that much older than 18, but still, what the fuck? The fact that she can write these kinds of introspective lyrics just at that age is crazy. It's crazy. I wish I had that talent. I wish I had the brain to do that.
Watch my heart burn with the fire that you started in me.
This is, I think, the only song in the top 20 here, or just like relatively high in the list, that I didn't already know about previous to going back through her whole discography to rank it, if that makes any sense. Like, I knew all the big songs from the Don't Smile at Me era, but I actually never listened to that album in full until recently to do this ranking. And this song instantly became one of my favorites. Again, it's just that synthy, ballady production, the powerful chorus, the bridge that kind of builds things until the final release at the end. Like, I don't know, I just really love this song. While I do think the first half kind of outshines the second half is still quite solid, and the first half is so good. Like, the lyrics are really sad, but honestly, I just have such a fun time with this song. The melody is so addicting. I love the vocal delivery. Everything about it is so good. I also love all the callbacks to previous songs on the album. Whenever she does that, you know it's gonna be a bop. And while the second half isn't as amazing to me, I still think it's very charming in its own regard, especially the part where she like modulates her voice and it gets kind of creepy spooky. You know, I do love that part. Yeah, all around a solid song, a phenomenal closer to the album. You know, it really sums up everything from the Hit Me Hard and Soft album so perfectly in one song. In fact, speaking of really good album closers, the genius of this outro just cannot be understated. Like, this is literally the precedent for all album closers. If you're not doing this and name dropping all of your songs one by one, then what are you doing? Not to mention those gorgeous, eerie harmonies at the start of the song. Again, y'all know I am on my acapella shit all the time, and this really did the thing for me.
She would never be that satisfied. It's a male fantasy.
Guys, I swear I did not intentionally put all three of her album closers right next to each other. Like, I genuinely only realized after going back through to write commentary that these three ended up in a row, but like, I don't know, Billie just knows how to close an album. And I think this one is my favorite in its simplicity. It's a beautiful vocal line over this really simple guitar acoustic, but I just love it so much. It's so charming. It has this like campfire feeling to it, and I love the message of this song. It really portrays what it means to be paralyzed in your own feelings so perfectly, to be overcome by so many different thoughts and emotions and uncertainties all at once that you just end up feeling kind of empty and kind of trapped in your own head. It's so beautifully told and sung, and the music video showcases that really starkly as well. It's a sad concept, but at the same time, it's kind of heartwarming to hear Billie sing about it so honestly with this uplifting production in the back, almost. It kind of makes it feel hopeful in a way. And I think that's why it works so well as a closer to Happier Than Ever, because that's otherwise a very brutal and heartbreaking album, but then we kind of end on this note of like, you know, even if I tried, I could never hate you. It's beautiful. It's so touching. I love it.
Birds of a feather, we should stick together.
Once again, the beauty of a simple song really shines through here. A simple message with a simple melody and a beautiful production that just sweeps you away. Like, that is really, I think, what has made this become such a staple in like the last few months, what's made it become so big. Like, it's a bop. to me, this song feels like nothing Billie has ever released before. Like, it's familiar, it contains all of her typical flourishes and melodies and sounds, but at the same time, the way it's all put together feels so new and fresh. There's this really unique mystical vibe to it. There's the gorgeous falsettos in the second verse, which had me gagged on first listen, into the electric guitar and added distortion that also had me gagged. Like, it just builds and builds, and there's so much passion interlaced throughout this song. She really communicates such a profound message on self-discovery and feeling misunderstood. This was probably my favorite on the album when I first listened, literally, honestly, just because of the falsettos. Over time it's changed, but I still consider it top 3. I think I may have moved this up. This song is just really good. I always find myself wanting to come back to it.
I didn't change my number. I only changed who I replied to.
The dog growling at the start was always a jump scare to me because I genuinely thought she like recorded some forest demon or like a motorcycle revving up or something. I don't know. It was just very confusing. But then once I learned it was a dog growling, I actually thought it was kind of cute. Anyways, this song is a bop. This song is a fucking bop. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's not that deep. It's just so fun and sassy and badass. I mean, the "and your best friend too" part, are you kidding me? And that outro just has me shaking my ass every time. This song is just so much fun. I will never not have fun with this song. I still vividly remember when this music video came out and everyone was just gagged over it. And like me too. I had this music video on repeat. The fact that it's all in one take, I mean, that's kind of a staple of a lot of her music videos, but this one especially. There's all these emotions layered into the music video, and then the way she just like dissolves into the ink at the end. Oh, honestly, Billie really did the thing making this a visual album, because every music video that has come out of this era has just felt so unique and like haunting in its own way. It really adds to the ambiance of the whole album, and I need more artists to do visual albums. Like, I know music videos are kind of a lost art right now, thanks TikTok, but I'm still sad. I'm still watching the music videos and I need more. Anyways, that all has literally nothing to do with the song itself, but also I don't think this song needs much explanation. Like, it's one of her most classic songs for a reason. It's really good.
Never falling right beside, falling into your ocean eyes.
Another classic in her discography. Really, this is like the song that started it all for her. And going back through her older music to do this ranking, I forgot just how good this song is. For being like her very first song, yeah, it was pretty clear she was a star in the making. It's a simple message, but it's the vocal delivery. It's the specific manner in which she tells this story of falling for someone, of wanting to stare into their eyes forever. It's so immersive in that way, and the light, delicate vocals throughout, again, really just sell that message. Like, it's a classic for a reason. And now we move up to tier number 1. These are my all-time favorite Billie Eilish songs. This is kind of like my starter pack for Billie. It just so happened to be the top 10. That wasn't necessarily intentional, but I think it works out. These are the songs I will never get tired of. I just get a really unique feeling from them every single time I listen to it. Billie really just has a way with her words, with her lyrics and her melodies, and these 10 songs to me really encapsulate what makes Billie Eilish's music so magical and what has made her one of my favorite artists and someone I will always look forward to hearing more from. And because of the way these songs hit me so hard every time I hear them, this tier number 1, is called I Saw Stars.
I'm getting older. I've got more on my shoulders.
Some of y'all are probably going to be confused by this one's placement because it's a pretty simple song. I mean, the production and melody and everything about it is pretty straightforward and all, but I think this might be the most relatable song to me in her whole discography, which in turn has just made it really stand out to me. I've talked about this before, that while relatability isn't necessary for you to enjoy a song, it certainly can enhance the experience a lot, and that is 100% the case with Getting Older. I mean, when I retell a story, I make everything sound worse. Things I once enjoyed just keep me employed. Things I'm longing for, someday I'll be bored of. I'm happier than ever, at least that's my endeavor. Like, every single lyric on this song just speaks to my soul. I already have an existential crisis every single day about where my life is headed. I'm getting older. Oh my god, saying that out loud just made me really sad. Okay. In a way, this song is just really cathartic for me for that reason, and I think it speaks to a lot of young adults, you know, people around my age and around the age that when Billie wrote this and when she released this album, it has a beautiful message just about how growing up is scary. It's a scary thing, and everyone can really relate to that, as do I.
I had a dream I got everything I wanted.
I will always be mad that this wasn't on an album because Billie, girl, this song was incredible. I'm just obsessed with the production on this one. Again, it really wraps you into this dream that Billie tells you about. Y'all already know I love me like a dreamlike production, but it works so well on this song because again, it's literally about a dream, almost like you're living it yourself, which is a crazy thing to feel because of the content of this dream in particular. And I think it's really powerful to showcase how a single bad dream can really fuck you up and make you contemplate so many different things at once. I have very vivid dreams, and I've definitely felt this way before, where I might dream about like something really scary, and even after waking up, it still feels real. Like it takes me a moment to come back to reality almost. It's really lovely to hear that in a song and to hear how she shows that and how ultimately that helps her focus in on her relationship with her brother and the people who mean the most to her, which is just so beautiful.
Thought that I'd feel better, and now I got a bellyache.
Bellyache, to me, is the young Billie Eilish sound at its finest. Like I mentioned before, during her early days, she was still kind of finding her footing and finding her unique sound that we'd come to get on her debut album. But I think this song is the best thing to come out of all of that experimentation because, well, it's a bop. Like, we really haven't gotten anything quite like this, in my opinion, ever since, and it's just so incredibly fun. From the groovy production in the verses to that bassy kick in the chorus, her vocal delivery throughout really sells this, like, desert vibe she's going for. This, like, electric, like, Latin influence as well. I kind of miss it, and I would love more of it.
You should see me in a crowd.
You may have noticed I haven't used any footage from this music video in particular throughout, my ranking. And if you've seen the music video, you probably know why. I hate spiders. I can't do spiders. And Billie was crazy for letting one into her mouth. Ugh! She's the queen of Halloween. She is a horror queen. Anyways, enough about that. This song is really good. I don't know, this song isn't super complex or multi-layered or anything, like these other songs I've been gushing on and on about. But this one is just a ton of fun, and it's always stood out as one of her best. It has that eerie production and the vocal delivery that Billie really nailed in this album specifically. It's almost like the epitome of that era.
People say I look happy just because I got skinny.
Honestly, this song just gets better and better with each listen. The delicate vocals, the lyrics, the beautiful orchestration at the end. It's just gorgeous through and through, especially after going back through all her music and revisiting the Happier Than Ever era where Billie was getting a lot of comments about her body and her weight. It was just a weird time, And it's super interesting how she starts off her next album this way. I mean, the song as a whole is about, what it means to be happy and fulfilled, which is a running motif throughout all of her music, of course. But the title focuses in on this one lyric. People say I look happy just because I got skinny, but the old me is still me, and maybe the real me, and I think she's pretty. I mean, that lyric really sums up everything she went through, and all these questions about happiness and beauty, which all, inherently tie into romantic relationships, depression, abuse, fame, all these different concepts she explored on Happier Than Ever, and that she continues to explore on Hit Me Hard and Soft. It's such a perfect transition from one album to the next. I could gush on and on about the beauty of this, like, structurally, but let's not forget it's also just a beautiful standalone song as well. I think this one in particular has one of the most beautiful melodies out of any of her songs. It's so captivating, it just takes you into her world. I love this song so much.
And we're so glad it's over now.
Similar to another song we'll be getting to soon, it's not just the switch up in the second half that makes this song so good, which I think is what a lot of people characterize this song for being about. Yes, that contributes, obviously, but it's the entire thing, and it's the build from the first half into that new, exciting second half. I love the first half of this song just as much as the hyperpop half, and both are necessary for the full message of closure that we get in this song. The realization that this relationship was doomed from the start since she didn't actually love him that much, and now that it's finally over, she can reflect on all this and let it go for good. A beautiful message portrayed not just lyrically, but through the sound and evolution throughout the song as well. And I mean, yeah, that hyperpop switch is just so phenomenal. It's so fun. I literally am so upset that I didn't get Hit Me Hard and Soft tickets just because I would love to see this song live.
You couldn't save me, but you can't let me go.
In my opinion, this might be her most unique sounding song because it doesn't require a big switch to change the mood and genre. It just kind of does it on its own so seamlessly without you even noticing. The verses are really sinister and bouncy, but then the chorus just hits you with that bass, the autotune in her voice. It really just punches you in the gut. And that outro is phenomenal. Like, the production here is really the highlight. Definitely one of the best, if not the best production in her whole discography, because that's really what brings the vocals out and makes the whole song come together so nicely. And I think it's easily deserving of being here in the top 5.
So where did you go? I should know, but it's cold and I don't wanna be lonely. So
For as long as I can remember loving this album, I have always remembered this being my favorite on the album, and I think that is still the case to this day. I love how not only the title is a reference to the video game about two characters trying to find each other, which is the message of the song, but the song itself is produced like you're in a video game. And so it really immerses you in that vibe, like you're the character in this game trying to find that other person. And as the song progresses, you're getting closer and closer as the production builds and builds. It's beautiful. It really just wraps you in, and that is what makes for the best Billie Eilish songs. Like these top 5 in particular, I think they just do a really good job kind of wrapping you in to the vibe of the song and to the message and making you really feel it.
I don't know how to feel.
Say what you want about Barbie. Say what you want about this being a basic take. I already know that's what y'all think. I literally could not care less. This is easily one of the most defining songs in Billie Eilish's entire career, and so phenomenal. I will not take questions. Like, sure, it was attached to a big movie that was a cultural phenomenon for its own reason, whether you like it or not, but then this song also blew up in its own accord. And I mean, there's a reason it blew up. There's a reason it won a freaking Oscar. And that is the vocal delivery. Ultimately, the melody is fairly simple, but it's the way Billie sings it. The way she delivers these lyrics communicates so much grief and really so much fatigue and tiredness. She's so tired of feeling used and unworthy and confused about her own existence. She just wants to give up, but she still keeps trying and searching for that meaning. Combined with the piano and synthy production in the background, and this song just wraps you in. Like, I seriously feel like I'm swept into a whole other dimension every time I listen to this song. It's so beautiful, and again, I really just cannot get enough of the way she sings these lyrics. It's so sad. It's so sad. I don't know how she does it.
And I don't talk shit about you, want me.
Honestly, it wasn't even really that close. Usually I have to sit and think for a while about which song I want to put at number 1 when I do these rankings, but this one just kind of came to me immediately. Happier Than Ever has always been the biggest standout in Billie Eilish's entire discography, primarily just because of how perfectly it's constructed. I think a lot of people just expect this to be at the top and expect this to be like this grand Billie Eilish song because of how new the second half is and how daring and loud it is. And yes, similar to L'amour de ma vie, that is a big part of it, but that alone is not what makes this song so amazing. Every single moment of its entire runtime is so meticulously constructed, and it makes the perfect song through and through. And the build from the very beginning to the very end is really what makes it so powerful, and it's what makes that second half hit so hard. You may have seen that video of Billie and Phineas explaining how many takes she did of this verse and how they kind of edited together little bits of each take to make the perfect song, and it really shows. The delivery is perfect. Every single line in this song has so much feeling, even though the background is just this kind of simple ukulele track. We get the story of anger and betrayal, but the delivery is quite melancholy and toned down, so we get a sense of grief. And then it builds and builds, showing more of the underlying anger behind that grief until we get this powerful release in the second half, ultimately culminating in, the part that everyone knows, her literally just screaming out all of her pain and misery. Every single time I listen to this song, I get hyped, I'm excited. The whole thing really just wraps you in. It's a perfect song from start to finish. This is her magnum opus to date, and I will always stand by that. Alright, my voice is getting tired if you can't tell, but that is every single Billie Eilish song ranked from the worst to the best. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you thought. Please check out my other discography rankings if you liked this kind of video. They're a lot of fun to put together, but they just take time. So if there's any other artists in particular you really want to see me rank, let me know down below and I will hopefully maybe get to it at some point. And I hope you have a great rest of your day or night or whenever you're watching this. But that's going to be all for this one. Bye!